What's going on, everyone? Sam in here. I got my boy Coach Jay back on the channel. We're gonna start doing a little weekly show talking about whatever. If you guys want us to talk about something or some experiences we've had that you've heard of, leave them in the comments. Jay, say what's up to everyone and just kind of reintroduce yourself.
What's going on, everybody? How you doing? Glad to be back on the show. Coach Jay, former prisoner, former member of the French Foreign Legion. I kind of just try to use my experiences to be a motivational outreach for people these days. So it's kind of my mission right now.
Similar mission that I have, man, and appreciate you taking the time, man, to sit down with me, man. Thank you.
Oh, absolutely.
So the first time we had you on the channel, man, we really went through a deep dive of your life history. It was over a 3-hour interview, man, and it was really captivating. But it was a good one, man, and I hope you enjoyed the time, and I hope you got something out of it as well, because we all did. I know that for a fact.
Yeah, it's it's a little therapeutic, man. When I get into some of the stuff about overseas, because I don't really talk about it a lot with people here. I mean, not a lot of people know they don't even know what the Legion is. They think it's like the fucking Boy Scouts or something. So I try to just I don't really talk about anybody. So when I do talk about it, it's sometimes my PTSD can flare up a little bit, a couple days after. But other than that, man, it is a little therapeutic, I think, to get that shit off your chest every once in a while.
Yep. And I'm glad you got a place to do it, brother, and people to listen to you, man, because you're a wealth of knowledge, and so we talked a lot about the Legion time you had, and we really kind of skipped over the AF, right, the Aryan family, which you were a part of, and I just kind of wanted to talk about their history, how they got started, and all that, because I'm not really up to date with it.
So I guess, well, like, what do you want to know? I just like how it all kind of came about. Well, so God, when was that? Back in the late 70s, I want to say. There was a group at Walla Walla. Walla Walla is our what we call our Washington State Penitentiary. It's in Walla Walla, Washington. So we call it Walla Walla, right? So back then there was this thing called the Lifers Club, and they actually wrote a book called The Concrete Mama, and it's pretty famous book, dude. It's actually hard to find, but it was written by prisoners, and there's pictures in there from Walla Walla, and it's like they're riding motorcycles around in the yard and shit. Like,
shit,
dude, like, it's a famous book, dude, because it basically talks about how the prisoners ran the prison and how the guards were just there to like make sure we didn't kill each other. Yeah, because I remember like when I first came in back in 2005 and 2004 and shit, around then, it was still like, you still kind of had that vibe of like the old school motherfuckers still kind of ran shit, right? The guards, were kind of just there. But anyways, so back to the AF. So back in like 70s, late 70s, early 80s, there was a guy in the Lifers Club named, I always get his last name messed up, Kenny Artuga. It's Artuga or Artuga, whatever the fuck. Oddly enough, he wasn't even fully white. He was like Filipino and white or something, right? Well, Kenny Artuga had ties to the AB down in California. He was really tight with some of them down there. I don't know the whole story about that. Actually, if you hold on 1 second, hold on.
Okay. Man, that's crazy. It seems like the AB has had influence in multiple states.
So this book right here.
Okay.
I did an interview on another guy's channel. His name is Gabe Morales. Shit, sorry. Hope he's not watching. Gabe Morales. He's a great guy. He's a former Seattle police detective, part of the gang unit here in Seattle. He was part of the gang investigators for Washington State Department of Corrections. I was actually on, I did an interview with him, I think a couple weeks before I did yours, but
Okay.
he wrote this book about the history of the Aryan Brotherhood. And if you go to his channel, he actually has an actual, I want to say like a video documentary type thing about the AF. So he knows a lot about Kenny, a little bit more than I do. But basically, Kenny Artuga was tied to a lot of guys down in California, right? Well, Kenny came up here because his mom lived up here. I think it was she was sick or something. He came up here, caught I think a robbery case, and ended up getting a bunch of time while he was in prison. I think he caught some more time for stabbing or something. And essentially what happened is he joined the Lifers Club at Walla Walla, and there was another gentleman there by the name of Dave Davidson. He goes by Double D. Shout out to Dave Davidson. I don't know if he's going to see this, but he's still alive and kicking, man.
Okay.
He's a fucking great old guy, man. Great old guy, big old jolly Santa Claus looking motherfucker. But Dave Davidson, him, and God, what was the other guy's name, man? Oh boy, I can't remember the third guy's name at this time. I want to say Keith Richardson or anyway. Kenny Double D and this other gentleman, this other guy, wanted to start an organization where it was because up here you had the blacks, and then the natives and all that stuff, but they didn't really have a white car, you know what I mean? So Kenny's like, well, if we do anything and want to make it like real or official, we need to get permission from the AB because he wanted to the AB of Washington, but I don't remember if the AB was like, we don't want anything to do with that, or if Washington up here, we decided we didn't want that. I don't know what that was about, but ultimately came that they got permission from the AB. And so the AF was started. Now, on the, mine's covered up now, but I got my leg covered up. But I had my shield on there, right? And on the AF shield, it's the little shield, and it's split in 4 ways. And there's the SS bolts, which is supposed to be for, the love of our, for the white boy race and all that shit. Then there was the, on the opposite diagonal of that was 3 blood drops, right? And that was for the 3 founding members, right? So the 3 founding members, basically what happened is, I think, Kenny ended up going back to Cali or something, or he got transferred. Some shit happened, and it turned out that Kenny turned out to be no good or something, right? So Kenny ended up getting crossed out, and it was Double D and this other dude, and then another guy named Biff kind of came in the picture. And Biff brought this dude, RC, Richard Carmichael, right? He was this guy from Nevada. Nobody really knew him. He was new to the system in Washington. Biff introduced him to the fellas, and fucking next thing you know, RC's the head dude. He was a super charismatic guy, man, and super smart. I met him briefly when I first came into the system in 2004. I was doing a program for an assault, 633 assault on an inmate, and I think he was getting transferred to Nevada or something. But at that time, so this was 2004, right? At that time, the AF was kind of at its peak. late 90s, early 2000s, like we ran the system. We ran Washington, period. Hands down. We were the most violent. We had all the drugs. I mean, it was crazy, bro. It was a lot of fun. But at that time, Richard Carmichael, something was going on with him and this new young kid called Dan Reck. Well, Dan Reck is a big boy, dog. I mean, motherfucking forearms were just he was a fucking brick shit house. I mean, he's huge. And he's kind of infamous up here in the system for breaking this dude's back. He fucking jumped on this motherfucker's back, dog, and broke his back.
God
Paralyzed.
damn, that's a big boy.
Yeah, he took this motherfucker in the cell, this black dude, and this black dude had called him, punk or a bitch or something. But Rec was like, "Bitch, get your fucking black ass up to the house." So they go up in the cell, and Rec was just mutilating this dude's face, bro. I mean, I wasn't there, but I heard about it, man. I mean, I've seen the crime scene photos. I mean, there was fucking blood everywhere in that cell. And Dan he had gotten to the point where he was just kind of tired of beating on him. He dragged him over by the fucking sink and toilet, right? And in Clallam Bay, this is where it happened. What was at Clallam Bay, which is another max prison here in Washington. It's a little bit more violent than Walla Walla, but it's not as well known. They call it Gladiator School. But anyways, the way the cell was set up is you got the two bunks, right? And you got the door, and then between the bunks and the door is the toilet. And between the toilet and the bunks is a little divider, a concrete wall, right? It's about 4 feet high or something, right? Just enough for you to get a little privacy from your bunkie. So apparently he drugged the kid over to the fucking by the toilet, got on top of that concrete divider, and fucking jumped, dude, and
shit!
Fucking crack, snapped his back, dog, and the boy had to get airlifted out of there.
Thank God he didn't jump on the kid's head.
I had heard like jokes from fucking dudes that was what he was trying to do and missed or something. I don't know. But anyway, so Dan was kind of, this like a little bit of a legend. He made a name for himself as being extremely violent. And he was very charismatic too. His problem is that he's not very fucking bright. So anyways, what happened is Dan Reck came in the picture. He's about 20 years fucking younger of Double D. And he kind of started, from what I remember of how things went down, is that Dan was kind of like, you know what, man, these older dudes, they don't know what the fuck they're doing. And then their whole shit's played out. And half these dudes are fucking punks and blah, blah, blah. And just really putting a fucking jacket on a lot of the older dudes, and really what it came down to is he just didn't like their fucking get down. And he was, whether it was jealousy or what, or envy, I don't know. But he started getting a lot of the older dudes crossed out. Like it was like a genocide, dude. It was like every week a motherfucking old timer was getting smashed out or stabbed or sliced up. And it was just like, fuck, dude.
And was that the leadership, the old timers?
Yeah, bro. All the old fucking the dudes at the top were getting schwacked, bro, and it was fucking wild. I had gotten brought in under the old leadership, so myself, we were like dudes like me were given an option. We were told, look, either fucking recognize that Rec is the new dude, and that's that, or you can get it too. And so I was like, man, I was really at the point where I didn't like what was going on, but I didn't want to fucking die. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So I stuck around, dude. And that was around 2005, 2006. 2005, 2006 is when Dan Reck really took over. And then after that, things just kind of went to shit. Unfortunately, he went for quantity over quality, and he changed a lot of the rules too, man. Like when I first came in, you couldn't even get an AF tattoo. It didn't matter if you were locked in or not. We didn't want people to know what the AF even was. Back then, when the gang investigators pulled you in and they were like, "Oh, you're AF," blah, blah, and you'd be like, "What the fuck is AF?" Like you had to pretend like you didn't even know what it was. It was a total clandestine thing, It was because we learned from the AB. Look what happens, bro. You get validated, you get slapped in the hole for the rest of your life. Well, we didn't want that. So, yeah, it just got ugly, man. He started pulling kids in and telling dudes that, basically telling dudes that they could say that, because before you get locked in, you can't say you're AF, right? You could say you ride with the AF. Somebody be like, "Who you fuck with?" I ride with the AF, right? That was different than being locked in, though. But he was starting to let youngsters say, "Yeah, I'm AF," even though they weren't locked in yet. He was, letting motherfuckers get tattoos. I remember the first time, there were motherfuckers coming out with 1-6 on their face, for A and F. AF on their face, and I'm just like, God damn it, dude. One of the big things was always and forever, right? So like that was kind of one of our things, is we would write on our envelopes to each other as always and forever. It's kind of a way of AF, right? And so motherfuckers were getting that tattooed on them, and it was like, it was just a lot of shit, man. A lot of shit happened. A lot of good dudes got crossed out. Double D ended up getting crossed out. Biff, he ended up getting crossed out. Troy Carpenter, the dude that brought me in, man, who I fucking major love for that dude, man. They almost killed him. They stabbed him in the neck, you know what I mean? With a fucking, the old radios that have the antennas that are hollow and shit? Yeah.
Yep.
He fucking broke one of those and fucking in his neck. And he flatlined on the way to the hospital. But that was, that was when I was like, all right, well, if they got Troy, then I'm probably next. So, yeah, it was a bad time, dude. And I knew Troy was going to get stabbed because I'd heard about it like the week before, because at that point I was still pretty, I'm never going to pretend like I was a shot caller like a lot of these fucking dudes do. Like
yeah.
I think it's ridiculous. Don't pretend to be something you weren't. It's just,
I don't understand it, bro.
no, like these dudes like 1090 Jake and JD Delay and all these fucking dudes. I don't have any respect for that shit, because it's just like, I know I could take one look at you and tell you weren't anything. So stop. You're not fooling. You might have these motherfuckers that don't know no better fool, but you ain't got me fooled, dog. And so anyways, dude, I just, it got to the point where it was like, I was still like up there, but I wasn't a shot caller or nothing like that.
You're well respected.
Yeah, like so, like the younger generation knew that I was brought in under the old, old colors, and I had done my fucking work, and I wasn't no punk, dog. And a lot of people liked me, bro, because it wasn't that I was extremely tough or even like crazy violent, but it was just that I had a lot of charisma and I could talk to people, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And my thing was always working over the cops, working over the guards and shit. I could fucking work. I could have a cop bringing me in fucking whatever I wanted in a couple weeks, bro. I mean, I don't know. I don't even know how I do it, dude. I just do it.
You're just a genuine person.
There's a lot of prisons I can't even go to because they've blacklisted me. They're like, you can't go here. Yeah.
Pops, like you've been able
Yeah.
to
Yeah. So, yeah, they call it compromising staff. So that was my thing. So anyway, um, once Troy got hit, man, I was like, all right. And I knew he was going to get hit. And I tried to tell the gang investigators that he was going to get stabbed. And why they didn't do anything, I don't know. I still wonder about that. But I remember the week that he got poked up, man. I was doing a 2-year program. I was doing 2 years in the hole for an assault. And this other AF cat down the block from me, his name was Ant, right? Anthony Clemens, fucking good dude, man. He's the one that told me, he's like, hey, he had just came back from fucking yard and shit. And, they fucking bring us out one at a time for yard and, cuffed up and all that. So he came back, right, from his little yard time. He's like, duh, I just got off the phone, bro. Hey, did you hear what happened? And I was like, no. He's like, bro, Troy got hit. And I was like, what? And he's like, yeah, man. He's like, that motherfucker died, dog. And I was like, what? And so, because that was all the info we had at the time. And I shit you not, I turned on the news and it was King 5 News, bro. I remember watching it. And at the bottom on the little ticker, it said, inmate at WSP stabbed, flatlined on the way to the hospital, but lived. Right. So I'm like, oh my God, no way, dude. And, so I was kind of up all night, like wondering what the fuck, dude. And so I didn't have yard that day. So the next day I had yard. And I remember I made my little phone calls and, yeah, he had lived, man, but he died a couple times on the way to the hospital. And it wasn't even an AF dude that stabbed him. It was the fucking AF dudes got some skinhead, some young ass, never done nothing, trying to earn his bone skinhead kid. It just goes to show you the nature of the beast, man. It's a motherfucker, man.
Yeah.
These dudes don't give a fuck about you, man. Nobody, I swear to you, nobody was more respected than fucking Troy, man. Troy had been through it since the beginning. He'd been there since the fucking beginning. And he was a cool ass dude, man. Like, when you think about like the California fucking prison dude, you think, little, yeah, he was skinny, but he was kind of, built.
Yeah.
Right. But he's just fucking from here down, dude, just inked out. And he had the little dark little sunglasses, right, with the fucking chops, dude.
Okay, so he totally looked like that.
He was, dude. He looked like straight California gangster.
Okay.
And I just had major love for him, man. I looked up to him like an older brother, like a dad, And so when he got hit, man, I was just like, dude, anybody can get it. So I just, it's all fun and games, dude, until you're fucking getting poked in the neck.
Yeah, or on deck to get hit. Were they going down and hitting everyone? The guys, they say Troy made you, right? So you probably were next. Were they hitting the?
Yeah, like I said, they gave me the option, bro. Well, I was given the option even long before that. Shit, that was like, well, fuck, because he got stabbed in 2012. Or no, that was it 2012? Yeah. It was I think it was like January 2012 or end of 2011 because I had got my program in 2011. And no, I got my program in 2010. So it was probably around 2012 when he got hit, man. And dude, at that time I was, I was already kind of done, dude. I had been in the shit since 2005, you know what I mean? Like, I was just kind of tired, man, and I was in the hole for smashing this dude out. I had made my way from max security all the way down to fucking minimum, dude. Yeah, that was the first time ever I'd made it that far, like out of besides medium. Like I was like, holy shit, dude, I'm going to work camp. Like, fucking, I hear, it's the land of milk and honey, bro. Everybody's smoking cigarettes and chew and cell phones and fucking.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh my God, dude, I can't wait. And I was there for like fucking 3 weeks, dude. And my dad died, and I got to go to his deathbed visit, which was cool. I was, it was cool. I at least got to have that. But
Yeah. They don't. Do they allow that a lot in Washington? Because in California, it's almost unheard of.
it is. So they actually allow it's. You get a choice. Well, at least back then. I don't know what it's like now, but back then it was you got a choice of either a deathbed visit or funeral visit. You had to choose one of the two.
Okay.
And I didn't want to wait to go to the funeral. Like
Yeah.
I don't know, man. He was in a coma, so I mean, looking back on it, I don't know.
Well, at least you get to like speak to him, and he's in a coma, but at least he's not in a fucking box yet,
No, so and here's the deal with the Washington thing is that you have to be able to pay for the guards' wages for the whole trip and the gas and everything. So like my grandparents had to fork out. I think it was like $300 or $400, dude.
I would have thought it would probably been like 15.
I was gonna say I think it was more. I think it was about 500-600.
Yeah.
Damn. So, yeah, because we only got 3 hours. I only got like 2. I think it was like 2 or 3 hours or something. So, yeah, I remember, fucking they changed me out, and because I have an escape on my record, they fucking had made me wear an orange jumpsuit and belly chains and all the shit. Whereas normally, because I was in minimum, they would have just let me go in my white t-shirt and khakis and just handcuffs. So I had to go in this fucking orange pumpkin suit, man, which was kind of whack. But I remember, going through the hospital, man, and just like fucking people were looking at me like, what the fuck? Like being escorted by 2 cops, armed guards and shit. As like a part of me thought, like back in the day, man, I would have thought this was cool, people looking at me like, here's this crazy dude, this dangerous guy. But I didn't feel like that. I felt like almost ashamed, like embarrassed. Like here I am walking through the hospital. Yep, I'm a criminal. Fucking hi. And so that kind of hit me too. But I just, watching my dad die was rough, dude, because me and my dad had a fucking tumultuous relationship. He was very violent, dude, growing up. He was involved with organized crime, with the Carlacuccio crime family, and he just wasn't a nice dude, man. To be honest, he was a very fucked up guy, man. So when he was dying, it was kind of rough because it was almost like I had to make a decision, bro, on whether I was gonna forgive this man for a lifetime of trauma, or I was gonna tell him to fuck off. And I think had maybe my dad died 5 years or even a couple years earlier, I would have told him to fuck off. I'm glad you're dying, you piece of shit. You're going to go where you belong. But, I told him, I was like, look, I forgive you, man. I love you and I forgive you. I understand you had your demons. I get it. I get it now.
Yeah.
And so that's what I told him, man. And, it's kind of bittersweet, dude. It was.
Do you think that was the the start of your change right there?
So I was kind of already, you know, like on the fence, right? At that
Uh-huh.
point. But it really kind of well, fuck. I mean, so what
It was
happened
part
is,
of it.
yeah, so my dad died, right? He died.
Mhm.
And, you know, since I was his next of kin, I had to make um, the legal decision to end his life or not. And basically, the doctors told me, like, he's brain dead. Like, um, he's not going to come out of this. So, um, I made the decision to go ahead and pull the plug because me and him had talked over the years, and my dad knew he was dying. Right, like he had um, he had end stage liver disease. Right, so he was all fucked up. Um, so you know, he had told me that if he ever got in a situation where he was, you know, stuck in a fucking hospital bed, to just go ahead and end it because that's not how he wanted to live.
Mhm.
So that's something that I took into heavy consideration. You know, even though I don't think he deserved that kind of consideration, I still felt like I had to respect his wishes, man.
Uh-huh. Yep.
Um, as much hatred and anger as I had, and I still do, man. Like, there's some shit that I found out after he died, you know, like I'll get to that in a second, but after he died, I kind of, well, dude, I had to go back to prison.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I remember, so like, fuck, it sucked because my grandparents weren't there when we got there, and it just things took longer than they should have, and so I actually had to end up leaving before my dad had actually died. So they had pulled the tube out, and they gave him some pain meds and made him comfortable, but he was doing the death rattle.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
don't know if you've ever heard that, but it's a fucking horrible thing, dude.
Yeah.
So he was trying to live. His body was fighting, but you know, I remember like it was really like it was really intense, and then it got slower and slower and slower. So I knew he was failing. He was dying, and that was rough, dude. I was sitting there with my
Had to be.
grandparents and a priest and shit, and I'm fucking crying my eyes out, dude. I mean, I was fucking just bawling, dude. Because it wasn't just all the pain and all the bullshit from my dad, but it was like sitting there watching my grandparents. They're burying
He was
their
a
kid, you
child.
know. You're not supposed to bury your kids, man. You're not supposed to watch your kids die.
Yeah.
So that was rough, man. That was really rough. So fucking, you know, before my dad even dies, the one guard, he leaned down and said to me, he's like, "Look, man, we were already fucking an hour past our deadline." Like, I already told them that we're in traffic. You know what I mean? Like, I'm supposed to have you at the prison an hour ago.
Yeah.
And I was like, all right, man, like, let's fucking go, you know. And you know, I squeezed my dad's hand and fucking and left, bro. And that was rough, man. That was rough. That trip back to prison was really rough. Uh, because up until that point, you gotta understand. Up until that point in time in my life, I didn't give a fuck about going to prison. Like,
Mhm.
I grew up in the system. I had been getting locked up in the King County Juvenile Detention Center since the age of 11. Like, I grew up with all these dudes. I grew up in the system. I was comfortable. It sounds fucked up, but it was like
That's
whenever
what
I
you
was
knew.
on the yeah, whenever I was on the streets, dude, I was running and gunning, and because I knew that like if I went back, it is what it is. It's like homecoming. Like all the homies are there. There's dope. There's fucking whatever. You know, like it's not bad. It's like a little vacation. And but that fucking ride back, dude, was I think that was the first time I had ever said to myself, like, fuck, I just want to go home, bro.
Mm.
I don't, I'd always been like, man, I want to get out. And, I wish I was out. But I really did not want to go back, man.
It's understandable what you just went through.
Yeah, I wanted to, I think that was just kind of like, okay, life's short. Like, fucking, my dad had been sick for a long time, but it's like he just couldn't die type of thing. When he originally got sick, I was about 9, maybe 8 or 9, something like that. And they said he's got 2 years to live, max. Motherfucker lived for like 15 years after that.
Yeah. Well, he was a fighter.
Yeah, but a motherfucker drank a half gallon of vodka every day. Yeah, he was Monarch vodka, 100 proof, dude, every fucking day. But yeah, he died. I went back to prison, and that night the boys threw a big old fucking party for me and shit, dude. We got super stoned that night. They were like, "What do you want to do?" And I was like, "I just want to smoke a fat joint, dude." And I don't know if you've been, right? They sell little pinners usually.
I haven't been to prison.
Oh, okay. Well, so usually they call them pinners, right? It's like a fucking toothpick rolled up, and they sell that motherfucker for like $20. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Well, that night, dude, they rolled me a solid one, dog. It was like a baseball bat,
like you would on the street.
Yeah, they fucking. I was like, God damn,
where all that come from?
I was like, fuck, fool. And so we got super blazed that night, and we had a little bit of alcohol. But then like the next day, I woke up, man, and I was just kind of like, I felt different, and I was just kind of fed up, at that point. And then I had heard word from this dude, Virgil, who he kind of had the keys at the camp where I was at, which is funny to have keys at a camp. But anyway, he had keys at the camp, and he was a younger dude. He was a younger generation than me, but he thought he was the shit. Anyway, enough about that. He comes up to me and he's like, "Hey, dude, fucking, there's this kid out in the yard talking shit about you." I was like, "What?" He's like, "Yeah, man. He says that you're a fucking lame and all this shit, dude." And I was like, "Who is he?" Man, some dude named Devin. And I was like, "Devin Bardsley?" I was like, "That's my old celly, bro." Like, I was sold up with this fucking lame. So in prison, right? You got the white boys, and then you got the other, like you got AF skinheads, but then you got white boys, right?
Mm-hmm, like Woods or something.
Yeah, and so like we considered white boys, we called them lames because they couldn't make the cut. You know what I mean?
Like a Splinter said something similar on the lower levels. They call like lame whites, Caucasians or pasties.
Yeah, well, we called, so up here we call Caucasians white dudes who try to act black. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Like you're not white, you're Caucasian. So anyway, fucking where was I?
He's talking shit about you,
Yeah,
old self.
dude was talking shit. And I was like, well, that's crazy. He was my celly, and he never said nothing crazy to me when we were cellies. And Virgil was like, "Oh man, you gotta go handle that, dog." And I was like, "Who the fuck are you to tell me? I got the keys here, homie." And I was like, "You might have the fucking keys here, but you ain't nobody to me, bro." And we almost got into a big fight. And I was like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm gonna go smash this dude out. So I went out there, and dude wasn't there. So I'm like, all right, whatever. He didn't show up. I see him in the chow hall later that night, and I called him out in the chow hall in front of everybody. I was like, "You ever fucking drop my name out of your mouth again, I'm gonna beat your fucking ass." And I was like, "That's it, period. I'm gonna hurt you." And he was like, "Oh, bro, I apologize. Everybody, I apologize, man. I'm sorry." And I was like, "All right, cool." And like a week went by, And fucking Virgil comes back and he's like, dude, he's talking shit about you again. So I'm like, all right, man. All right. So I end up going, I pulled a fucking gangster ass move too, dog. So I was in B unit, right? Well, this kid was all the way on the other side of the compound, other side of the prison, in fucking CD side. Well, CD side they have like yellow stickers, and I had a black sticker because I was on B side, right? So I came up with this idea that I was gonna have a couple dudes from CD side walk in front of me, and I'll walk behind him and have my ID turned around, and I'm just gonna walk into his unit and beat his fucking ass. Oh, that's what we did. I fucking I schneb all the way over. I passed like fucking 10 different cops, just ducking and dodging, dude, doing things like this and shit, you know. And we get to the unit, dude, and fucking thank God the guard that stood at the door wasn't even looking. I just walked right in, down the little ramp, into the fucking tier. And as I walked onto his tier, I looked down because the phones were outside of the tiers. It was a weird setup, but bam, dude, I see him on the phone as I'm walking in. I'm like, and so we get onto his tier, and I was like, bro, he's out there on the phone. And Virgil's like, all right, I'll have fucking one of the homies. We had this Southsider homie named Dopey. Shout out to fucking Yaktown Dopey. He's out now. He's a great dude, man. He's from Yakima.
Okay, I was gonna ask Yaktown, Yakima. Okay.
Yeah, he's from Yakima, bro. He's got like Norteño killer tattooed on his face.
He's going to war out there, man.
Yeah, he's banged out, bro. So anyways, I hit him up. I'm like, hey, bro, go fucking ask dude on the phone if he wants to smoke a cigarette. And he's like, who, Devin? He's like, oh, yeah. All right, cool. So he fucking goes and grabs.
He didn't like him either, huh?
No, bro, nobody did. It ended up that nobody liked this kid. He was just a fucking shit talking fucking lame who thought like, I remember being cellies with him, bro. And like, I used to snap on him, bro, because he would come in the cell and he'd just walk around in his bare feet and shit. And it was like, I don't want your bare feet on the floor. Bro, you know what I mean? I live here too, dog.
Just put your shower shoes on or something.
Put some shower shoes on, or at least wear your socks.
Yeah.
And he was just fucking, I didn't have my TV yet because I had gotten transferred from Colin Bay, and your shit takes a couple of weeks to show up type shit. So I had to fucking like watch his shit, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And he would just like, oh, I don't want to watch that. Or like, he just watched weird shit. Yeah. He's just a weird dude. He watched cartoons and shit.
I was going to say he's watching the Powerpuff Girls and some weird shit.
Well, he was watching like, what was the one shit that he watched?
Scooby-Doo.
I don't remember what it was, but it was just like, it was like Real Housewives. It was like some.
That's like worse than fucking shit. Cartoons.
Oh, I remember what it was. It was Bad Girls Club or some shit.
Oh,
right. And it was like, and all the black dudes would watch that because they'd be, oh, I'm gonna jack off to his bitch tonight, cuz. And like, I'm like, bro, like, cool.
Take it to the cell.
Like, yeah, if you want to watch that, do it when I'm not here, bro. Like, yeah. You know what I mean? I don't need you talking about how you want to jerk off to this bitch when I'm sitting next to you, bro. It's weird.
Yeah.
So I didn't like him. Anyways, we get transferred, blah, blah, blah. So nobody liked the kid, right? Anyway, I'm on the tier. So on the tiers at the camp there at Monroe, this is where I was at, was Monroe Prison, right? They got like a bathroom with like shower stalls and private bathroom stalls. Like, it's pretty nice. So I had Dopey go fucking grab Devin off the phone and say, yeah, let's go smoke a cigarette, bro. Blah, blah. So fucking, it was me, Virgil, and this dude Frost, right? Jason Christensen. He's a fucking piece of shit. Fucking little coward, fucking rapo, fucking punk. Oh, like the dude. He ended up telling on me. But anyways, he fucking, he's standing at the door to the bathroom, right? So Devin walks in, and as soon as Devin walks in, Frost pulls the door shut. So dude can't get out, right? So it's me, Devin and fucking Virgil now in the bathroom. And Virgil's like, fucking word on the street is you're talking shit about my one of my boys right here. And he looks at me and he's like, no, bro, I wasn't talking. I didn't say nothing about you, bro. It was that guy. And he points at Frost, right? And which I didn't think nothing of it at the time. I was just like, maybe he's just trying to fucking, get out of it, right? So he's like, nah, man, it was him. And Virgil was like, you better fucking put your finger down, boy. Like, fucking, you're gonna fight my fucking dude, or he's just gonna beat your ass. And I don't want to fight. I got trailer visits coming up, and I just want to see my wife and kid. And that's when I was like, boy, fuck your wife and kid. And I just fucking just bam, and just cracked him. And I remember his glasses flew off his fucking head, and blood just went. And I grabbed him by the back of his head and just bam, 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 until it got to the point where and Virgil was like, you stop, you're going to kill him. And so finally I just fucking shoved him and he hit his head against the fucking wall and fell on the floor. And there's fucking blood all over my fucking brand new Adidas that I just got.
Whoa.
And, I was like, all right, I'm done, and fucking Virgil's like, you ever talk shit about one of my boys, next time we're going to kill you. And we walked out, bro. And this dumb motherfucker, dog, all he had to do was go sit on his motherfucking bunk and get fed soups for the next couple weeks. His dumb ass decides, well, I don't want to eat soups and I want to go to mainline and go to the chow hall and do all these things. So I got to make up a story about how I got hit all these marks. This dumb fuck sneaks up to the basketball court and has one of his buddies pretend to elbow him while they're playing basketball so the camera sees it. And mind you, his fucking nose was like over here. His fucking eye socket,
mine.
yeah, his fucking orbital socket was broken. His fucking lip was split. His chin was split out. Like, he was fucked up. Damn, and dude. It was like, dude, clearly you got beat up. Like, it's not from basketball. So, well, of course, an investigation happens. And next thing I know, I'm getting fucking wrapped up, dude. And they had 5 confidential informant statements against me.
How many people were with you in the bathroom?
5 people didn't even see it. So I'm just like, I'm almost positive that Virgil told on me, Frost told on me, Devin told on me. Actually, you know what? I keep it real, bro. To this day, he didn't tell on me. When I went to my hearing, he said no comment. So he kept it funky. He didn't tell on me.
Okay.
But they had confidential informant statements against me, and I'm almost positive that my own dudes told on me because they knew everything that happened. The hearing officer, the gang investigators, they knew everything. They knew every piece of detail that went on in that bathroom.
Who else could it have been?
Nobody. So it's just it. And I look back on it, and when he pointed at, he's like, I wasn't talking shit. It was him.
He may have been telling the truth.
That's what I'm thinking about. I mean, maybe he did say something, the first time. Who knows? But
he probably joined in with it, but it was probably that dude who was.
But yes, that's what I mean. Is because me and that kid didn't get along, but I don't think he was dumb enough to talk bad about me like that because he knew I was connected and all this other shit.
And I wanted to ask you, bro, since one of the founders of the AF was Filipino, it really wasn't a white supremacist organization, was it? It's just kind of a label the media slaps on.
It's just kind of, it's really unfortunate, bro, because a lot of the dudes that are in these organizations or part of these organizations or whatever, they're so fucking intelligent, dude. And a lot of them are really great fucking guys. It's just fucking did something stupid and you go to prison. Well, we're all human, right? And even if we're in prison, we still want some kind of normalcy or belonging. You know what I mean? Like you want to,
Camaraderie is big.
yeah, exactly. And um, especially ringing true with me is that growing up, I wanted to fit in because I didn't feel like I fit in anywhere, dude. Because my dad lived in a shitty area of Seattle, right? I didn't fit in there because I was one of the only white kids and I was super skinny and I wasn't a fighter, you know what I mean? So I didn't fit in there. And then I didn't fit in with all the rich kids because I wasn't rich and I just didn't fucking like them. And so I didn't fit. It's like I didn't, and my mom had abandoned me with my grandparents. So I always had this sense of not belonging. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So when I came to fucking prison, dude, and like it was like where these motherfuckers been my whole life, dog?
Yeah.
My family, And I will say that when I first came in, dude, I don't know if maybe it's just arrogance or being young and naive and being a dumb fuck, but it really felt like there was that sense of brotherhood. Because when I first came in, the skinheads tried to pull me up. And it was, they had like all these fucking rules. Like you can't talk to blacks at all. And you can't fucking shake hands with them. So up here in Washington, we call them bugs. Like they don't call them the blacks, they call them the bugs or the buggers.
Okay.
You can't shake hands with no bugs. You can't talk to the bugs. You can't fucking listen to no bug music. You can't. It was just like Jesus, fuck.
Ridiculous.
And half of these
doing that.
motherfuckers were fucking gang members on the street,
like GD or some shit.
Yes, bro. Oh my God, there's this one motherfucker that drives me crazy, bro. I can't remember his fucking name. He's a skinhead, dude. Wannabe skinhead, dude.
What skinhead crews do they have up there? Like Arm or
So up here it's the big one. Well, the big one now is what's called HSH, or they go Hakenkreuz skinheads. So Hakenkreuz is German for hooked cross, which is the swastika.
All right.
So they're real big up here. They started off real small, and the dude who actually founded HSH, he's out and he's all strung out on dope, fucking just all
Against
fucked
the
up.
rules.
Yeah, exactly. So anyway, HSH, and then you had AS, which was the Aryan Skins, and the dude who founded that, Jeremy T. Scotter, and his crime partner, I want to say Devin. Oh, not Devin. Caleb. I think it might have been Caleb. Anyways, Jeremy T. Scott and this other dude who's a complete, looks like a complete dork, right? But is a savage and knows mass jujitsu and shit.
Never judge a book by its cover.
Yeah, bro. And anyways, T. Scotter's he's about 6'7", fucking, kind of big dude, right?
He's bigger than me.
He's a big motherfucker. And him and this other dude, basically they were in Tacoma jail, which is a shitty jail to be in, Pierce County jail. And they basically got into a fucking 2-man riot between them and 15 Hilltop Crips. And from the myth and the legend is that they beat the shit out of all 15.
No, there's no fucking way.
That's what the legend is. And it's been corroborated and shit. So it's been around for a long time. Yeah, I mean, because T. Scott,
crazy, bro.
As much as I hate Jeremy T. Scotter, me and him were actually really tight for a lot of years, and even after he dropped out and turned state's witness and all this shit, I was still really cool with him because we were both on the same shit. We were both on this fuck this prison gang shit, right?
Yeah,
fuck this shit. It's ruined our lives. It's ruining families. It's killing. You're destroying people, right? So we were both on the same page as far as that. But him and dude founded the AS. And now Jeremy is actually, from what I just saw online, he's going on his way. He's on his way back to prison. So yeah, we're not cool no more because he got out. I got out first, right? And I stick true to my word. Like if I say I'm going to send you money, I send you money. If I say I'm going to help you out with a food package, I do it. Well, I helped him out a lot, bro. I put like $300 on his book, sent him a couple food packages, about $500-$600 worth of shit. Put money on his phone, like really helped him out, bro.
And it was in return, let me guess.
No, it wasn't even just that. I wasn't expecting it really, but
okay.
It was more of just a lot of disrespect, bro. Like I hear from people he's talking shit,
do that, bro.
Like what? You can't even get a fucking job, you fucking loser. But hey, can you send me $200, dog?
What the fuck?
Like calling. Like I remember when I relapsed for a little bit. He's like, "You fucking dope fiend, fucking loser."
Well, at least I didn't end up back behind the fucking walls.
Well, and then I had went back after that, and we were back in prison together. But anyways,
okay.
He got out, dog, and his thing is using women, right? That's his shtick.
Against their fucking. Oh, he dropped out. That's right.
Yeah, that's his shtick is fucking using women and getting their credit and fucking destroying their lives and leaving. Wow. And so, and then he got out and he married this really wonderful girl, Danielle, and she was married to an ex fucking NFL player for the Jets, so she had money coming every month from him for the kids and shit. And he got out and they got married while he was in prison. He got out and went to live with her and fucked her over. And she was a good woman, dude. Beautiful.
I was gonna say ex NFL wife, she's got to be smoking fucking hot.
She's a gorgeous woman, dude, and but there was also something off about her because before he met her, she was dating another dude in prison. It was like, what's your deal with dudes in prison?
Yeah.
Yeah. So he got out and totally fucked her off. And then she tried getting with me for a while, and which is weird because her and my girl were friends. So, and then my girl found out. It was just, anyway.
Well, that's a fucking headache.
He fucks her over, finds these other broads, gets this other broad pregnant. He's just on and on. He's a piece of shit, right? Anyways, him and dude started the AS. So the AS, then you got what's the other one up here? You got oh gosh, what's the name of that? I don't know. Well, I don't even know.
We've covered the skins enough. It doesn't sound like
yeah, they're nothing like.
Yeah, doesn't sound like they were the AF running shit.
No, yeah, the AF definitely. So, and to be honest with you, dude, like we got into more shit against skinheads than we did with any other race.
Was it because they were always causing problems with other races or other
races? Yeah, so that was a lot of it, is that when something would happen between the skins and like a black dude, we would handle it. Instead of getting the whole prison into a fucking riot, because you decided to call him some fucking N-word. We're not gonna put all of our our business, because we got dope coming in, we got phones coming in, we got dudes fucking the broads in the fucking kitchen and in the fucking clothing room and shit. Motherfuckers aren't trying to lose all that, dude.
No,
because you want to run your bitch ass mouth.
Yeah, and then when the blacks come over and say, "Well, what's up, then, motherfucker?" You want to run and cry and start a riot.
Yeah. So they would approach us and we'd say, "Look, we'll handle it. Don't worry about it."
And I bet you guys were just like, waiting. Finally, we get this motherfucker. We can finally get on this guy.
Yeah, there was a lot of that.
And then, we were talking about some horrific shit before we started recording, man. About some of the rapes like the
Oh
first
man.
rape you heard? I haven't heard the story yet, man. If you want to share that.
Yeah. So the first time, I mean, yeah. The second one, well, the second one I didn't witness, but I talked to the dude who almost got raped, and I'll tell the first story first. So anyway,
Okay.
I was at Stafford Creek in 2006, and the way Stafford, well, yeah, the units are different, but the way H2 was set up, the unit I was in, was you have a big day room, right? And then it's two levels around the day room in like a horseshoe, and in the middle is the cop's desk, right? But behind the cop's desk on the upper levels is the bathrooms and showers and shit.
It's kind of like a county jail.
Yeah, it is kind of like a county jail
Setup.
setup, right?
Yeah.
So it was a long-term medium facility, they call it. Um, uh, so basically, the guards would leave though, right? They would like because they had A B side, so the guard would like leave A side and go over to B side and chop it up with whoever the fuck, you know. And basically, what happened is there was this young black kid that had just came in, and he was a cool kid, man. I'm not gonna say his name.
Yeah. We don't.
Yeah,
We
I'm
shouldn't
not gonna
say
say
names.
his name, bro. But he's a known gang member from Seattle. He's from Hoover. He's a cool kid, man. It really sucked because I grew up with him in the system. Like I knew him, and
Oh, okay.
fucking
He
like
was that
chopped him up with.
friend or
Yeah,
acquaintance.
we were like friends, but like I knew
Acquaintance.
the dude, bro. Like
Yeah.
yeah. Anyway, he had just showed up. God, I almost said his name, dude. He had just showed up off the chain bus, and I don't know like the specifics of why or how or what ended up him going up into them showers and bathroom area, or even why they decided to do what they did. But I don't know, and I don't know if the guard was in on it because she left for a long time, dude. Like they'd usually be gone for a few, maybe 5 minutes at the most. You know what I mean? That was pushing it. She was probably gone for about 10 minutes.
Ooh.
So, anyways, we're all down there. It was late at night, dude. It was about 8 o'clock, so we all had to lock down at like 8:30, right? So it was like 8 o'clock. We're all cooking food and trying to get our little shit ready for the night, and um, I heard tussling and banging around and shit. And when you hear a fight, you can tell boom 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 boom. You
You
got a
hear
banging
this?
and shit. Yeah, so everybody kind of like turns and looks, bro, and you just see like a group of black dudes just beating on this fucking on dude, right? And man, that so when that was happening, that was out in the not in the stalls area, but in front of the sinks. So it was kind of out in the open.
Uh-huh.
But like once they beat on him for, it was probably only maybe 30 seconds to a minute. They dragged him in the stall, and bruh, like you could hear the clothes being ripped, bro. Like yeah, it was fucked up, and I'm pretty sure he was unconscious at first, but he woke up because you could just hear. I remember I hear him going, "What the fuck? What the fuck are you doing?" And just crying, bro. Help me, somebody help me! Just screaming for help. And he kept saying, "Why are you doing it?" Ah, man.
Was it his own group that did it to him?
Yeah, yeah.
And man, who knows what the reasons? Hopefully, maybe he had some kid charges. I don't know, bro. But
Yeah,
they
that's
just did
that's
it
the
to do
thing.
it.
That's the thing is I don't know.
Yeah.
Um, and you know, that was when it was my first time in prison. So I was kind of like, I even remember saying something. Matter of fact, my buddy Troy was there. Um, I said to him, I said, we got to do something. You know what I mean? Like we got to do something, bro. Like that ain't
Yeah.
right. He's like, it's none of your business, kid. Yeah, he was just so cold about it, and just he didn't even like really. He just kept playing cards and shit. I'm just like, none of our business. Like I know the dude, and he's like, it's none of our business, man. It's just there's nothing we can
Yeah.
do.
Fucking. That's crazy.
Well,
And it
you
was
know, it's like looking back at it, it means even if we wanted to do something, like what were we gonna do, bro?
just you two would
He'd
have
already gotten raped. Like can't take that back. You know what I mean? There's nothing we could have done for the kid, man. It
Did
sucked.
the kid end up staying in the pod or leaving?
Oh no, he left, dog. I never
Okay.
saw him again.
He may have had something, bro, some kid charges or something.
Yeah, yeah, you know, and I understand I totally understand the wanting to do something to somebody like that, but to rape them like that just makes you
Yeah.
dumb, bro.
Yeah.
You're a raper.
I could never imagine doing that shit to anybody.
Like that's why
But
these dudes that rape other dudes and shit, I'm just like, you're a rapist, bro. Like
yep.
you're
Yep.
still a rapo. Like,
Yep.
you're no
Yep.
good.
Absolutely, bro. I'm with you on that. And you know, any type of person like that given a platform, I'm gonna say something. And
Yeah,
I have in the
I
past.
believe yeah, he deserved an ass whooping or even to get killed, but
To rape them,
uh,
yeah.
that makes you a fucking piece of shit in my eyes. You know,
Because
you fucking
if you did it to
first of all, the
him,
fact that you can get hard off of fucking a dude is disgusting.
uh, but also in that situation, who knows if you've done this before?
Yeah, right. Like,
Like it popped in your mind to do that to this male. So who knows, bro?
clearly, yeah, clearly you had fucking thought about this or something. You know, it's just yeah.
That shit is, man. Kids think going to prison, man's fun and games, but that's the kind of shit you're gonna have to
And
just
that's
sit
what
there.
got me, bro, is because dude like he was well known, bro. He wasn't no slouch. Like he was a respected dude. Like
Unreal, bro. We you mentioned the Hilltop Crips, man. I watched this thing about in what I think it was in Tacoma,
you talking about the
where
Army Rangers?
was
Yeah.
that did that involve them?
I mean, yeah, yeah. What do you mean? Did it
Like
involve the
was
skinheads?
no, did the Army Rangers and the Hilltop Crips, was that the two that were fighting on the street?
Yeah, yeah.
So do you know about that? Like
Oh
some
yeah.
more than we know in the media?
I mean, I don't know. I haven't really seen any of the like. I haven't watched anything about it, but basically, from what I know, is that fucking there was an Army Ranger guy who was living there because back then it was called Fort Lewis, right? Now it's JBLM, Joint Base Lewis McChord,
Okay.
which is the fucking military base in Steilacoom, which is right outside of Tacoma. So you have a lot, and it's the home of 3rd Ranger Battalion. You got
Oh, okay.
there's a lot of SF units here. We got the Stryker Brigade units up here. Mountain 10th Mountain Division's up here. Like we got some big units up here, bro. So
No idea.
yeah, I think is it 3rd SF or 7th group? I'm not sure.
Would that
Either
be
3rd or 7th
Delta?
group. Say what?
Would seventh be Delta?
No.
No, they're in Bragg, aren't they?
Yeah, I think so. I don't know where they're at.
So
But.
would that be a SEAL team, maybe?
No. So we're talking about like Green Berets.
Oh, okay,
So
okay.
the Army SF units are going to be Green Berets, shit like that.
You're right.
So
You're right.
and technically, when you say like 3rd Special Forces Group, 7th Special Forces Group, it entails Green Berets, Delta, SEALs, maybe not SEALs, but Rangers. I mean, as far as Army goes, because each, like, I'd have to look it up. So I don't know. I'm not, I
No,
wasn't in the
you're
U.S.
right on that.
military, but
The third, seventh is
like
Green Beret.
3rd SF group might have like the Asia theater, whereas SF 7th Special Group was
Might be the
North Africa,
Arctic. Okay.
and yeah. So 4th Special Forces Group is like the Pacific Islands and shit like that. But anyway, so basically, I know that the dude he was from the Ranger Battalion. He was living on the same block as a bunch of Hilltop Crips, and he was having like a little barbecue or something with his like friends and a couple family members, and these gangbangers had driven by and said some like inappropriate shit to his female companions or whatever, and they said some stuff back. And from what I heard is that the Hilltop Crip dudes had stopped the car and got out. And now I don't know if there were other Rangers there at that time, but
More showed up.
they had like gotten into like a small physical altercation, but it was broken up, and the Hilltops left. Dude, then from like what I hear is he sent everybody home, called up a bunch of his boys, like, get over here, lock and load, let's roll.
Yeah, it's fucking.
And like everybody, like, all right, cool, like, yeah.
Yeah.
And so from what, they basically got strategic positions and set up
Defended their house.
ambush points, and fucking because they knew they were coming back. Yeah, those fuckers, they came back, dude, and we're going to do a drive-by, and they fucking just lit the car up. Just planked them,
I'm telling you, Rangers are fucking wild. You know better than
yeah,
me.
dude.
And when you got some young Rangers, and they're itching for some fucking a fight, it ain't hard to find.
And that's the thing, man, is like I did a lot of work, right, with different units and stuff, but I'd have to say the Rangers are probably the hardest motherfuckers, man. Everybody talks about SEALs and Delta and shit. Yes, they're the tip of the spear.
They're the tip of the spear, but they're not the spear.
But to be in a Ranger battalion, you have to be like, dude, the physical aspect of being a Ranger is every day you are like held to the highest fucking physical standards. Whereas SEALs,
rucking, right?
Yeah. Whereas SEALs, it's more of, they're doing CQB every day, or they're doing weapon manipulations, or interrogation tactics, shit like that. But Rangers they're rucking every day. They're fucking, they're running, they're fucking doing push-ups, pull-ups every motherfucking day. And just to be in a Ranger battalion, from what I've heard, is harder than being in the SEALs. It's probably harder to get into the SEAls.
Yeah, that's the difference.
To stay in a Ranger battalion, it's incredibly difficult.
The rucking, man, miles and miles every day.
Yeah.
How much weight do they usually carry, man?
Well, so probably 75 to 100 pounds.
Holy shit, bro. And that's not even when they load out to jump out of a plane.
No. Yeah, like when I was over there, we were doing like 30 kilos, 60, 70 pounds worth of shit. Yeah, dude, rucking that's the people don't, and a lot of people don't understand the rucking.
Well, they do it because don't Rangers go out in the middle of nowhere?
Patrol, dude. It's fucking. The thing with like, so it was like the same with the unit I was in, paratroopers, right? You had to be ready to go anywhere in the world in less than 12 hours, right? Like you had to be able to be cock lock, ready to rock, and ready to go anywhere. And you had to be able to be dropped in, 10 fucking miles away from the objective and be able to hike in.
Yep.
and not get caught, dude. And so it's a
And be
whole
able to
different.
make that trip with the weight. Who
Yeah,
knows
you
what
want to
the
be able to.
train
Yeah,
is?
you got to carry your gear in, dude, and you got to carry your gear out because you don't want to leave anything behind.
There's some bad motherfuckers, bro. Military, bro. Everyone talks about warriors, but those are some bad motherfuckers, bro. Those are the warriors. And who knows what the train is, like I said, but aren't the Rangers' main specialty is taking over airfields and then setting up a perimeter and defending them? Is that like their real specialty?
Yeah, I mean, so like the Rangers, their whole gig is direct quick action, right? Like their hostage rescue and doing stuff like that is, dude, they're incredible, man. I mean, they hit their thing is they overwhelm the objective with overwhelming violence. Like it's just
Yep.
incredible.
Force,
Um,
violence, firepower, air.
yeah, and the cool thing about a Ranger battalion is that like they'll always have like a 24 STS guy with them, which is those dudes are savages, bro. Those calm guys. Um, dude, they got Navy corpsmen with them. They got comms guys with them. They got everything they need from all different branches of the military to be there. Um, dude, Rangers, I don't know, man. Rangers are the shit, dog.
I
Those
heard
dudes are
I
badass.
heard a
I used to
saying.
not. I used to not like them. I used to be all about the Marine Corps and shit.
Marines are
But
badass too.
oh, dude, I mean, hands down, if I was gonna pick a fighting force, it would be the Marines, because every Marine is a sharpshooter. Every Marine's a rifleman. Even the fucking chaplain. You know what I mean? Like you have to be a sharpshooter. Um, Marines get absolute dog shit and dog water when it comes to gear, and they make it
Yep,
work.
they make that shit work. They're
Yeah.
like the least funded branch, but they're the ones always sent in, the fighting
Yep.
force. Them and the range. I heard a saying, bro, that you send in Rangers to save a SEAL. You never send in the SEAL team to
Seals
save
the
the
Save
Rangers.
Ranger, yeah.
No, and I'm not shitting on the SEAls. That's just a saying that I've heard, bro. So
My thing with the SEALs, bro, is like I never did any action with them, but I always heard that they're just too fucking arrogant.
I see it in YouTube videos. So
I
not all
don't
of them.
I don't knock them, it's just I don't know, man. It's you got to think about how come you see more Navy SEALs writing all these books than Rangers or Green Berets?
There's another saying that they had that with every SEAL comes a journalist degree.
Yeah, dude. It's I don't know.
But hey, the SEALs are bad motherfuckers, bro. And
They are, dude. They're the best, man.
they may not always get the best representation on YouTube, but you know what? They don't speak for the community and all that shit. And there are some badass SEALs on YouTube. Sean Ryan, I like that dude.
Oh yeah, Sean Ryan's a
I like
savage.
Sean
Dude.
Ryan, man. He's set out to help people and he's actually doing it.
Yeah, I got tons of love and respect for that dude.
Yeah.
I love what he's doing. I love his message, and yeah, dude. I've been following him for years, man, and I wish him all the best love in the world.
Same. Yeah. It'd be awesome to talk to that dude. Who knows? One day, bro. Maybe one day.
Man. I'd love to get on that ibogaine treatment that him and
I want to try that.
Rob
And
O'Neill talk about.
What's that other one they got? They got ibogaine, and then they got the other one.
So they use, from what I was actually just watching one of Rob O'Neill's podcast today about the ibogaine thing. But basically, what they do is they start. I think it's they start you off with the ibogaine, right? And then the next day you do the 5-MeO DMT. And from what I thought personally, the ibogaine was more powerful than the DMT, but from what he said is that the DMT is the real one.
Okay, so there's the other one that is like has been heralded by a lot of addicts too. That is like
you're talking about ayahuasca.
Ayahuasca. Yeah.
I guess
Yeah.
that's the same. I guess it's the same thing.
Yeah. Just there, maybe, I think one's from South America, one's from Africa or something.
Some shit, but I mean, I've done the 5-MeO DMT. Dude, I was doing that shit when I was in high school and I didn't even know what
Yeah.
it
It's
was.
been around. Yeah. I want to try
Um,
it, man.
it's amazing, bro. It like the last trip I did, man, that shit really changed my life.
Good. I've heard good things.
Yeah, man. I mean, I was going through a lot at that time, dude. Like really going through a lot of shit, man. And it just totally changed everything. It changed my life, changed the way I look at things.
Hmm.
And it makes me wonder about death,
Is it really death or is it just
well,
getting out of our body?
I've been really scared lately, man, about dying. Now that I'm getting older, I'm like, fuck, I don't want to die. Which is crazy because, when I was younger, I wanted to die. That was the whole reason I even left the States. It's because when I got out of prison, all my family was gone. And I didn't have nothing. My good daughter was gone, but taken by this crazy woman, and my whole plan was to go get killed in battle. I was like, that was the plan. And here I am now, so.
Well,
Um,
you're still alive for a reason, bro. We just
yeah,
haven't figured it out yet.
it makes you really think about the morality of everything. Mortality of it all. Sorry, but it makes you really, fuck, man. Nobody really knows what happens when we die. I mean, you can research it all you want and look up in all these YouTube videos, but you're never gonna know until you go through that.
It's always guesses or faith. So
And so exactly, man. And so and you either have to have really extreme trust in your faith or none at all, because it's you're either in or you're out, dude. I don't know.
it's interesting to talk about. That'll be something I write down. We can talk about next week because
Yeah, it's
I got
crazy.
to start editing, brother. So I want to thank you for coming on. I'm sorry for ending it abrupt.
No, you're
That
good,
wasn't the
dude.
plan, bro.
I
But
gotta get to work tomorrow. Fuck.
okay. And then we'll do this about the same time every Wednesday, bro. Sound good?
Yeah, that sounds good to me, man.
We'll just talk
I
about life.
actually got a guy who hit me up on Instagram saying he wanted me to do a podcast with him.
Okay.
I was thinking maybe he saw one of ours or something, like maybe the thing we did.
I got someone I want you to talk to. My boy Marcos from Cinemills TV. See if you guys can set something up. He's
Why
got
do I
almost.
know that? Why
He's
do I
got
know
he's interviewed a lot of people, bro. Cinemills
Cinema?
TV. He's got real good production. Like the pictures are behind him, and he's asking questions, and he asks good questions, and he doesn't go like too far into shit or ask anything wild. And I think it'd be a good thing. He gets a lot of views, but hundreds of thousands of views
Yeah,
sometimes.
I'd love to talk to him, man. That'd be
I'll
great.
I'll, uh, I'll get at him in a little bit. I just got to get this. I got to get this out. I got to get a call out. So I just want to do that before the sun goes down, so I can relax.
No, yeah, do your thing. That's cool. I was actually thinking it was going to be another 3-hour gig. I was like, fuck, dude.
What? Hey, dude. However long it goes, bro. That's kind of like how I like to do things. But
Yeah. No,
we
it's
could
cool.
do.
Yeah, I didn't sleep very good last night, dude. So I want to try to get some rest tonight.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah,
Just,
just got a lot of shit going on with my kid. So
throw on the Mariner game and just kind of relax.
oh, yeah, that's right. I'm
You
actually
too.
watching Rogue Heroes right now.
Oh, okay.
About the
All right.
SAS.
Yeah, so I've heard that name, and I was like, okay, that's got to be British Special Forces, but I don't know if he's SBS or what. But yeah, SAS, those dudes are fucking nuts, bro.
So the SAS is like our Delta.
Yeah, that's what
And the
our Delta was
SBS
modeled after them.
Yeah,
And the
then the
SBS would be like the
would be like
SEALs,
the
right?
SEAls. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
But thank you, brother. I appreciate you taking time out of your day and chopping it up. And we'll start doing this every Wednesday, bro.
Absolutely, brother. It was a pleasure, man.
All right. If anyone has any questions in the comments, we'll cover them next Wednesday. And it's Coach Jay. If you want to get at him, it's Coach Jay on Instagram, correct?
Chains to Gains on Instagram.
Change games, my bad.
Yep.
All right, brother. I'm gonna end this and thank you for coming.
All right, man. Be easy, man.
Later, bud.
All right. Much love, bro.